Hi, we are Shift and Thrift. I'm Sadie Martinez, the social marketer.
I'm Luis Mora, the web developer.
I'm Amaya Carter, assistant to CEO.
And I'm Amani Carter, the CEO.
And today we are going to have a conversation on what starting and launching a business has taught us. Now, right now we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the bad, and the ugly. So, what would you guys say have been a good thing about launching Shift and Thrift?
Experience. And I know that's kind of like a go-to move, but experience is actually a good starting point because I didn't know how to start a nonprofit. I didn't know how to market my businesses, and I didn't know how to do half of the stuff I know how to do now, such as pitching, persuading, some other skills are kind of networking. I never knew how to go out and like be that person outside of the grocery store trying to get some people's time. That is what I consider some of the good.
Some of the good, maybe finding more about myself in terms of what I can and cannot do, what I can stretch and what I can't. So I was able to find my limits. I was able to push limits. It was definitely a challenge for me, but I'm happy that I had it.
Honestly, I don't even see any ugly because us working together was actually pretty fun. I would say I feel like we all collaborated really pretty good. I would say we all had a good time doing what we were doing because we were all kind of into the whole idea of being able to give back. Also, we're kind of was it two birds with one stone? The same. Basically, that's kind of what we were doing with our nonprofit, and as well as bringing the car community closer. Which to me, I actually love cars, so it was just overall a fun thing for me to do with you guys, especially to spend it with you guys. It was pretty cool. So that's pretty much the good.
I agree with that, and part of the good is that we actually did help out the community, and we didn't only have a grade for ourselves being here at Patino, but we were also able to help other people and be there for other people and just help our community because most of us have been here since we were born. And so that's a really good part, is actually just being there for not only ourselves but our entire town.
Yeah, I think that's the good of overall starting or launching a business is because most people when they start a business they're actually doing it with something that they love, They wouldn't just start a business with something they hate. So it's overall I feel like it's good because you're actually into it. You're motivated because you like the subject or whatever problem you're trying to solve, and I feel like it just makes it easier, 100% times easier.
Yeah, and I want to add on to what Sadie said because in Fresno, since if you're here since you're a child, you do see the same homeless people on the street constantly. It's a every week, mostly everyday experience. So really going out and helping my community, that is a good because I keep getting scared whenever I see them no longer. After seeing them for 3 years in a row and then they disappear, I kind of fear that since they didn't have the right necessities that something bad happened. But being able to donate business clothes and just give them a chance at actually getting an interview and a job, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that going on to some of our strengths and weaknesses, I think that we have a really big strength with being there for not only ourselves but being there for other people. Our strength isn't just because our business is a non-profit, it doesn't just benefit us. And I think that's something that's really good and not just one of the goods. Sometimes it could be a bad thing for us because then that means that people depend on us. And sometimes we're not able to make the promises that we have made with those people. But we actually try our best and we're there for other people besides ourselves. So I think that's one of our strengths.
Along with that, I think that goes into one of our other questions is our team's greatest struggles and triumphs. And you mentioned how we couldn't keep promises. And I think that goes into us having a hard time like keeping car meets and car races because our consumers they want a race on the street, they want danger, and I feel like that was one of our many struggles, is not adhering to our wanted consumer base, instead trying to alter that to fit legal standards and us being underage standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reason why we're having that struggle, though, that I could say, is before like car meets and cruising in general was actually big. Like in 2008, like it would always get packed, you know. Recently, though, the cops are like really cracking it down. Like now, hardly anyone's out there. Like anyone, even now, like before cruising would start on Easter Sunday, right? It would get packed, like from Kings Canyon, Manchester, and even on Blackstone and Bullard. It would get packed. All three spots packed at the same time, super packed. Now it's like you go out there on Easter Sunday, you'll see cars trying to cruise, and cops instantly shut down Blackstone, the whole street Blackstone, going from probably McKinley to like Bullard. That whole way could be shut down. And that's just why a lot of people are now, because they can't really cruise, they want to race. They're just trying to make it more, I guess you could say, dangerous, because they're not being allowed to just cruise. And it's not, this cruising isn't even dangerous.
Yeah, and that's their way of making it enjoyable for them,
Yeah.
because it's illegal, I guess you could say.
And this was a big thing for them. So when we tried to be able to recreate this experience for them and not necessarily get it going the way we wanted it to, it was kind of a letdown. And we kind of wanted to try different alternatives in order to get that out there. But, you know, some things just can't be done, or some things can't be done to the extent that we want to. But it's still pretty hard on us.
Especially because of our ages. Because Luis and Sadie, you were mentioning just the other day about how they don't really care for us because we're kids.
Yeah, so like, just because we're 18 doesn't mean that we can succeed at the same things an adult can. And we tried to persuade various adults and telling them that we can do this because we're not just because we're a business, but because we're teens that have tried and tried and tried just as they did themselves. And I'm pretty sure that's the same thing that they want, is just to be heard, and that's the same thing that we want. So that's just something that I think that was one of our biggest struggles.
Yeah, especially because they thought like we was like kids, like not kids, but you know, like young adults, I guess you could say. So they felt like we wouldn't fulfill what their experience or their expectations. Yeah.
Now,
I say we've learned a lot, though.
No.
We've learned a lot.
so like,
overall.
yeah, we have, and like, because of these things that we've learned, we can use them. Like, with launching a business, it taught us so much, not just in the like entrepreneurial mindset, but also as a student. And especially all of us are going on to college next year, and we actually have college classes that we got to take that we need to present sometimes, or we need to communicate with our teachers well. And there's a lot of students that can't even raise their hand because they're scared of the professor or something. But I think because us launching a business, we can actually
get our word out.
Yeah, and
actually discuss what we feel like we need to say and put our input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I may never start another business in my lifetime, but definitely this year in Sift and Thrift really helped me succeed as a student and as a everyday life. I'm more confident. Did anyone else feel more confident?
Yeah, I feel
like I've grown as an individual just by this company.
Yeah. And while you may not think to start a business, at least you still have the skill set, at least you still have the opportunity to do that. And I think that's always something good to have as a backup plan, so you don't know what you might get the inspiration for in the future. And it's always good to know that you have something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is Shift and Thrift.
That's what we had to say about our journey and how far we've come along, and that every journey has growth. So yeah, thank you for listening.